Welcome to month 2, day 1 of the Azure IoT Academy. In today's session, we're going to dive a bit deeper into Azure IoT Edge. You can see here on my screen that's shared the topics that we'll cover today, which include Visual Studio Code, IoT Hub, Azure Virtual Machines, Azure Device Provisioning Service, Azure Edge for Linux on Windows, also known as eFlow, Azure IoT Edge Routing, Azure IoT Edge Stream Analytics modules. In month 1, we used a Stream Analytics module deployed to the cloud. This month, we'll see how to deploy that to the edge as well. Azure Logic Apps, so we can get an idea of how to implement some event-based business logic. And we'll also take a look at Azure Log Analytics and Azure Monitor for handling alerts. Preparing for this session, you should have already completed the month 1 content, as it does serve as a foundation for the content covered during this exercise. You should have, of course, a familiarity with the Azure portal as well. The prerequisites that you need: if you completed month 1, you should really have most of this already. Visual Studio Code, you can see here in the Markdown document the download for VS Code if you need that. You also need the VS Code Azure IoT extension pack, which we will use as part of this lab as well. Also make sure that you've cloned the repo that we're referencing that has this markdown. You can see in the URL this markdown document as month 2 day 1 hands-on-lab.md. So this will be your guide as you progress through the content. There's also a PDF copy of this markdown document if it's easier for you to consume that, or if you have any issues with the markdown version. You could also use this markdown document within Visual Studio Code rather than a browser if you like, using extensions such as Markdown Preview. A link for installing the Azure CLI